Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Size Non-Classic. This is episode number 1007 and the 901st Doubleshot. Two X-Men trades. First, let's start with something that came out last year. Well, issues that came out last year, collecting a trade that came out recently. This is Uncanny X-Men Disassembled. Now, this collects the first 10 issues of Uncanny X-Men Volume 5. Yep, the first 10 issues. Written by 3 people. Yes, a group title with 3 people. Of course, it's a weekly series. Yep, for some reason, Marvel decided to publish this weekly for about a couple months. Yeah, who are the writers for this particular set of issues? Matthew Rosenberg, Kelly Thompson, and Ed Brunson. Yep, these 3 people. Of course, of these 3 people, Matthew Rosenberg stays on as the writer after the other 2 leaves. Yep. Now, the whole thing with the storyline is a bunch of stuff going on here. We have Jimmy Mandrick shows up, causes havoc. We have Apocalypse who's alive and well. Yeah, that by far was never explained. This is the first Apocalypse has shown up in person since the first arc of Uncanny X-Force, where he was revived as a child and he was killed by freaking Phantom X. Yeah, but last time he looked like this was back in 2006. In the Blood of Apocalypse storyline, which was a really awesome storyline. Yes, as for how the heck he's alive, this book does not explain it. Hey, Kitty Pryde, there's a color thing. Hey, aren't you supposed to be dead? Didn't Logan kill you? Well, didn't Logan's team kill you? Never question. Nope. We also have X-Men shows up in here. Yes, the whole point of him showing up in this storyline is to set up the Age of X-Men series, there's 5 mini-series that came out of this one, which is basically the Marvelous X-Men, the Amazing Nightcrawler, which is a play on from a line from the second X movie. We have, I think it's like the Prisoners of X. I'm trying to think, what was the other one? It was Apocalypse and the Externals. Yes, Apocalypse, where he's not big and bulky, he's like pretty thin. And I think that was it. Yeah, just those 4 miniseries. And there were 5 issues apiece that had 2 one-shots, an Alpha and Omega one-shot. Yes, as for why X-Men acted the way he is in here, because he wants to the mutant race for some reason. Yeah, the other reason why that he actually really is in here is of the particular storyline. Yep. Now, his last time he was seen was back 3 years prior at the last issue of Al Ewing's New Avengers series. Yeah, last issue was run for that title. That was the last time he showed up. Yep. We also see in here Legion. Yes, a character who everybody points out that was dead. Though apparently the writers forget the fact that everybody forgot about Legion thanks to what happened at the end of Cy Spurrier's run for X-Men Legacy, where everybody's memory of him was wiped except for Blindfold. Yes, as everybody remembers him now, that is never explained. Nope, never explained how everybody... People remember he died. As for how the heck he came back, well, I think that was explained in the Legion miniseries by Peter Mulligan. Which, by the way, here's the cover for that miniseries. I haven't reviewed it yet. I'll get my hands on it in the future. Yeah, I think this miniseries is probably the reason why he came back to life. Yeah. Oh, and also, those of you curious, though, who have been reading X-Men comics, like, when in the world did Jubilee get back her fireworks power she's known for having back in the 90s? That was done in the final issue of Generation X. A series that even Scott Lobdell agrees, and he's one who created Generation X. Really, really bad artwork. Yes, he agreed the artwork was terrible. Yeah, and even also he also agreed with me that I think that was the reason why the book got canceled, because the book had terrible artwork. Yeah, if you're curious to who actually restored her original powers, that was by Quentin Quintire, a character who's actually completely absent in the storyline. Yes. We also have it where we have the next generation of X-Men, which this group consists of Armor, a woman who is an X-Man, Pixie, another X-Man that the writers think the X-Men basically trigger my freaking children, Null, Rockslide, even Glob. Yes, Glob is still treated like a freaking child, even though he's been around since the early 2000s. Yeah, he made his debut around the same time X-23 did. And she's in the storyline, by the way. I still like the fact she's back by X-23 after she's been Wolverine for 3 years. And apparently, Marvel thought, okay, we bring back Dirge Wolverine, let's take away the identity from Laura, which Tom Taylor built this character up, did a lot of character with her for 3 years. Let's just throw that away because of which Wolverine is alive. Which I call bullcrap on that. Yep. Even my friend Tivia agrees this is stupid. Yep. Now, I'm not sure who wrote what in here, but yeah, I think the Matthew Roswell, I think she just wrote the Management stuff. I'm sure he wrote that because he wrote the Multiman miniseries, which had a resurrection. Yeah, how he was brought back is that one of his dupes survived, and the mind of the original Jim Mandrix, who died in Death of X-1, was transferred to this guy somehow. It's never thoroughly explained. I need to review the miniseries. Mm-hmm. Now, I got to hand it to the artwork, and the artwork is done fantastically. Yeah, Muhammad Assar, who actually does the first issue. You have Arby Silva and Andrea Dominito, I think it's he pronounced the person's name. They do issues 2, 5, and 8. 3, 6, and 9 done by Yeldra Kinnear. And Yeldra Kinnear does issues 3, 6, and 9. Perry Perez does issues 4, 7, and 10. Yep. Now, they also have backup stories in here. You have Word Tomorrow again. The first part is done by Matthew Rosenberg. The Jean Grey story is by Kelly Thompson. And, of course, an Armor and Null story that's done by Ed Bronson. Of course, the epilogue is done by Kelly Thompson. The artwork for these issues, the artwork for a Bishop story is done by Marco Clo. Jean Grey is done by Iber Robertson. Mark Bagley is an Armor and Null story. And the epilogue also is done by Mark Bagley. Mm-hmm. Also, we have Heidi who shows up in here. Yeah, first time she's been... Now, prior to this storyline, the last time I could think of she showed up was at the end of All New X-Men. A year prior to this coming out. What the heck she's been up to? Never explained. Yeah, they bring my characters I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, but in the case of if you want to know how Mandrix come back to life, read the Multiman miniseries done by Reth Mosberg. If you want to know how Legion came back, read the Legion miniseries by Peter Mulligan. As Apocalypse came back, don't need read anything because the writers don't bother to explain how the heck came back to life, or they don't explain what the heck that. Also, apparently, for some reason, X-Man is acting really, really weird in here. Like he's actually some kind of messiah. Oh yeah, and the whole bigotry against mutants thing, where you have protesters in front of the frickin' Xavier Institute for mutant outreach and education. Mutant outreach. Yeah, tell them to go home, and everybody else says, "We are home. This is our freaking home. Why are you telling us to go home for?" Yeah, that is something I have never understood about these protesters. Yeah, this also happened during the Grant Morrison run, believe it or not. We have protesters in front of their home when they were in Salem Center. Yeah, if you're wondering who put the Xavier Institute in Central Park, that was actually not done by any of these rewriters. Nope, I think that was done by, I'm trying to think, whoever wrote X-Men Prime. Yeah. They're the ones who actually did it. Let me look it up here. I'm trying to look it up here. Let's see. Who did this one? Yeah, this came out a year before this storyline came out. This was done by Mark Guggenheim, Greg Pak, Colin Bunn. Yeah, they're the ones who put the Xavier Institute here. Also, during the storyline, the school gets destroyed. Again! I'm like, yeah, the last time the thing blew up was, believe it or not, 11 years prior to this. Yeah, the last time this happened was back in Messiah Complex. That was the last time officially the Xavier Institute was blown up. Yeah, and apparently that was caused by Mandrix because he went freaking nuts. And apparently that was caused by X-Man. Now, here's the thing. Now, they also have something that contradicts something else that happened in X-Men comics. We have Bishop who said he went to Age Apocalypse. That's kind of true, but not this Bishop. No. There is another Bishop shows up there as well. Yeah, we look completely different. Even he points out, though, he says, oh yeah, I did Age Apocalypse. No, you didn't. That was a different Bishop. And you killed him. You killed him in the first X-Men Prime published back in the 90s. Yes. Also, I really don't like how the X-Men treat the next generation of X-Men. I mean, two of whom are official X-Men, and yet they treat them like freaking children. And yet, Jean Grey should know better not to treat these kids this way. Heck, Legion is the one who actually tries to save them. I appreciate how the writers write him in here, because he's written to be the most smartest person here, and not the big-name X-Men. Half the time we read this storyline, we read this storyline, like half the time, the X-Men are like complete idiots. It's like the only competent X-Men are written here are Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde. Those two are incompetently. Everybody else is written like complete idiots. Like, they're like complete inconsistent. X-23, this might be in the storyline, she gets nothing to do. That's the dumb thing about the storyline. You have her here in the storyline, she's on the freaking cover, and she does nothing. Beast does a lot more than anybody else does. Also, when the heck did Beast get accepted back in the X-Men? I mean, last time I checked, he was still, I don't know, hated by the X-Men because the whole... Actually, I think he was forgiven because what happened in Extermination, which came prior to this. That's what I think happened with that. But if you didn't read Extermination, the book doesn't bother to reference it at all. Nope. Also, why the heck does Nightcrawler have a beard? Because most of the time I've seen, heck, even prior to the storyline, he never had a beard. Also, Psylocke has got a brand new costume, and even Bishop's got a new look. I'm not really sure why. In case you're wondering where Jean Grey got her look from, yeah, this is a look she had from the X-Men Red series by Tom Taylor. Really good series, highly recommend trying it out. Storm, this is the most recent hire she's got. So yeah, you have 3 good writers in here, which I do appreciate while we're doing it. And the only reason why they have 3 writers in here is because this is a weekly series. Now, after this, we have the annual, which explains something happened at the end of this particular storyline. You want to know what happened? Cyclops is alive. Luckily enough, the annual does bother to explain how the heck he was resurrected. I'll get to that when I get a chance to review Uncanny X-Men Wolverine Cyclops Volume 1, which is the start of Matthew Rosberg's very brief run for the book. Yeah, it's by far the shortest run I've ever seen for X-Men. Yeah, it lasted for 12 issues. I have never seen it where a run, in recent times, be that frickin' short. Yes. Though you can kind of count basically, him by himself, basically it's like 12 issues. But he wrote it for like over a year, which is by far the shortest. Even shorter than Bendis or even Cullen Bunn's run. Yeah. So I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Just some inconsistent writing for some certain things in here. It's almost like the writers of this particular thing didn't bother to read Age Apocalypse. Or at least something like that. Here's something, this is basically... Now, this book is X-Men Onslaught Aftermath. This is basically what the X-Books were up to after the events of Onslaught. This has Uncanny X-Men number 338, 340, Annuals 96, 97, X-Men Volume 2, 58, 61, and 97, X Limited 12 to 14, X-Factor 130. Now, Scott Lobdell does the Uncanny X-Men and the X-Men issues. The X-Men Limited, that's actually done by, the first issue was done by John Francis Moore. I believe he also does a couple of the annuals in here. We also have a few other writers in here, along with, besides John Francis Moore, Scott, we also have Terry Kavanaugh, Howard Mankey, Ralph Manchino, who's also one of the artists on here, George Perez, yes, the awesome George Perez, and Jorge Gonzalez. The artwork is done by Steve Epitek, Joel Mandra, David Perrin, Nick Genizzo, Bernard Chang, Cedric Nacone, Andy Kubert, Eric Battle, Duncan Ranello, Jim Tuning, with Ira Olivia, Salvador Roca, Adam Kubert, Jim Califor, Derek Robertson, and yes, the Tracer Greg Land. These particular issues deal with what the X-Men are up to afterwards. In case you remember the X-Factor issue, that is simply put the storyline where Mystique she basically kills her own son. Yes. The storyline is called, the issue is called The Assassination of Graydon Creed. Yes. Those who know who the heck Graydon Creed is, he is the non-mutant son of Sabretooth and Mystique. He is also by far the only known child of Sabretooth. Mystique has had like 5 kids. Sabretooth's had 1. This guy. Oh yeah, and Graydon and Victor Creed have never gotten along at all. And this was definitely his friend to the death. He was dead for almost I think he was dead for almost 15 years before Chris Jones and Craig Kyle resurrected him in X-Force Volume 3 in, I believe it was like 2009 he brought him back. Actually, it was 2008 he brought him back in that. He's brought back via Technovirus. Yep. And we also have said Franklin Richards. Yes. His fate is explored in X-Men Unlimited number 14. Where he's basically all by himself and he's basically grieving over the death of his parents, his uncle, and his godfather. Yeah, because Onslaught was meant to kill off the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. Because of Heroes Reborn. Basically a imprint that failed. Yes, a well-known failed imprint of Marvel Comics. Yeah, basically, Marvel took 4 of the most popular titles. Avengers, Fantastic Four, Captain America, and the Fantastic Four, rebooted them, and it turned out to be a really big failure. Yes, the Captain America was infamous for having him sticking his chest out. Yeah, that was done by Rob Liefeld, and somebody, I'm not sure who did this, decided to basically redraw the same image and have Captain America completely naked with that image. It's kind of gross. Yep. But the stuff they have in here, they have accounts with Spider-Man here, Hercules. Yeah, Hercules when he's clean shaven. This is the 90s Hercules. Now, the Spider-Man shows up here is not Peter Parker. Nope. This is during the period of time when Ben Reilly is Spider-Man. Yes. He was Spider-Man for a little over a year when he was Spider-Man. But yes, if you like Onslaught and you want to get basically the aftermath stuff, like what came next before the events of Operation Zero Tolerance, read this book. It's really good. I think Zero Tolerance came next right after this. I think so. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It's a good set of issues. I mean, the most published issues in here is X-Men Volume 2, issues 50-61. Now, why do I call it X-Men Volume 2? Because that was published as. Yes, this is the same series. It was retitled to be X-Men Legacy, with issue I think it was like 208. Yes. And if you're wondering how long the series lasted for, it lasted for 300 issues. It's also by far the second longest X-Men title ever published behind the flagship title. Yes, of all the X-Men group books. I would say the longest running solo book goes to Wolverine. Yep. Yeah, but not much else to say about these 2 trades. The X-Men Disassembled trade is good, but some stuff I didn't like about it. Like the inconsistent storytelling, or at least ignorance of what happened previously, is established as far back as this. This story these issues came out between 1986 and 1987. These issues came out last year. Yep. So yeah, not much else to say about these 2 trades. I mean, this is good. This is pretty decent. But for this particular one, yeah, if you're a fan of the 90s X-Men, yeah, this pretty much is a love letter to that. My only guess is the reason why Marvel did that for X-Men was because Avengers sold really well weekly. Yes, because that sold really well. And critic-wise, that got so positive reception. Marvel was like, let's do it with the X-Men next. And of course, yes, there was a sequel to No Surrender, which was, I think it was like No Way Home. I think which was I think it was like a 12-issue. I think it was like a 10-issue maxi series done by the same people, which is Mark Waid, Al Ewing, and Jim Zeb. Yep. So yeah, not much else to say about these 2 particular trades. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned later on today for my review of the My Hero Academia OVA. Okay, see you next view. Bye.